Hello everyone, welcome to Advanced Knowledge Systems and a warm welcome to AKS IAS Academy, which is one of the premier institutions in India, and it offers examination coaching for UPSC, CSC, State Public Service Commission, SSC Combined Graduate Level and CLAT examination. And about me, I'm Sandeep Bhushan Tumala, and my credentials are I have 10 years of teaching experience for civil services. I take up international relations and internal security and the analysis of the Hindu newspaper. And this session is in regards to the DNA of the Hindu newspaper, that is today's of 22nd February 2021. And throughout my session, I would be emphasizing on the keywords and the key phrases from the Hindu newspaper, wherein we will evaluate the importance of the factual, analytical, and conceptual questions for UPSC perspective. And while you imbibe the keywords and the key phrases in your answer writing, your answers for the mains examination would be precise and concise, and thereby you will score higher marks in the mains examinations. So this session at AKS IAS Academy Daily News Analysis will certainly help you to crack both the prelims and mains examination of the year 2021. And before we get into the DNA of the newspaper, we will focus or look at the quote of the day. And the quote of the day says that don't limit your challenges, but challenge your limits. Thereby, you will succeed or you will achieve the target, that is short term and long term goals, and you will have success. And now we'll get into the DNA of the newspaper. And now we will look at what the situation is prevailing in India in regards to the COVID-19 pandemic situation, wherein we have focused or we have looked that the COVID-19 cases across India was declining, but all of a sudden there is a surge in cases, and then center is really worried about the surge of the cases, and the center has returned to the states which have been in the midst of the surge of these COVID-19 cases, and the states which are experiencing the surge in the COVID-19 cases are 6 states, and they are Kerala, Maharashtra, Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh, Punjab, and Jammu and Kashmir. And we have seen that Jammu and Kashmir was amongst all these states which was with lower number of COVID-19 cases, but we have experienced that surge in the COVID-19 cases even in Jammu and Kashmir. And in turn, the center has written a letter to the 6 states which are witnessing a surge in the number of daily COVID-19 cases. And the health ministry has also said that the entire 6 states which are experiencing the surge of the COVID-19 cases, out of that, Kerala and Maharashtra, out of the 6 states, Maharashtra and Kerala are accounting for 74% of the active COVID-19 cases in the country itself. So there is a cause of concern that India is now experiencing a surge in cases, and we have to get into the mode of following the guidelines given by the health ministry in regards to the maintaining social distancing, and then wearing mask, and then making sure that we are all following the hygienic condition of washing our hands regularly. And the center in turn, because of the surge in cases, the center has called the states, and now we can focus this what the center has actually asked the states to go ahead as measures. You as a civil servant aspirant, you can take all the five as a measures in your answer, that is in the mains examination. Here the center has called the states for an increase in proportion of RT-PCR test. That means even though the states are going ahead with the rapid antigen test, which wherein there is a possibility that there is a negative with the rapid antigen test, but the center is asking the states, that is the 6 states wherein the surge of COVID-19 pandemic cases are increasing, that those states which are going ahead with the rapid antigen test and then there is a negative, but still they have to be retested by RT-PCR. So this is the suggestion which the center has written a letter to the states, that in spite of RAT, RT-PCR test have to be taken into consideration, or they have to be tested the patients so that they can try to restrict the, or they can try to break the chain of the COVID-19 pandemic situation. And the center has also called the states to look into a strict, comprehensive surveillance and stringent containment to curb the spread or to break the chain of the SARS-CoV-2 virus. And the center wants the states to regularly monitor the mutant strain. This is very important because we know that, or the entire globe world knows about the SARS-CoV-2 virus, which keeps on mutating and keeps on changing its strains. And we have seen that we have now in the world the UK strain, South African strain, and Brazil strain. And now there is a possibility that there are scientists which are talking about the Indian strains. So the center wants the states to regularly monitor for any kind of mutation of the strains, that is mutant strains, and that can be taken into consideration, that is monitoring of the mutant strains can be taken up through testing followed by genome sequencing. So genome sequencing is also the one which is the center is wanting the states to regularly monitor the mutant state through the genome sequencing, and the center has also called the states to monitor the emerging cluster of cases. As the cases are increasing in India, it is necessary for the states to monitor an emerging cluster of cases, so that the center has called the states to focus on clinical management in districts. This is crucial information to restrict the spread or the surge of cases, because the cases or the cluster of cases have to be restricted, and there has to be a clear clinical management in the district itself, so that the district can restrict the spread of virus or to curb the spread of the chain of SARS-CoV-2, so that the higher deaths will not be emerging. So these are the measures or the center which has written letter to the 6 states to make sure that they are following the RT-PCR test, along with, or even though they have gone ahead with rapid antigen tests, and then to have a strict comprehensive surveillance and stringent containment, and then regularly monitor the mutant strain, and also monitor the cluster of cases, and also focus on clinical management in the districts across the 6 states. And we have another news which talks about tap water connection. This is again very important for prelims perspective, because we will be focusing in regards to how the tap water connections is important and how it would help the children's in regards to the potable water. And in regards to this, Telangana is the one state which has joined along with the other states and which has ensured tap water connection. Telangana has ensured tap water connections to all the schools and Anganwadi centers. So this is the information which we need to focus, that along with the various group of states, Telangana has been part of ensuring tap water connection to all the schools and Anganwadi centers. And not only that, Telangana was also the first state to provide tap water connections to all the households. So Telangana has become a state which is now providing tap water connection not only to the schools and the Anganwadi centers, but to all the households. And this has been achieved by and have been acknowledged by the central government, that the Telangana state has achieved to provide tap water connection to all the households and also to the schools and Anganwadi centers. And if you look at, Telangana is now amongst the other states which has provided the tap water connections to the schools or all schools and Anganwadi, along with the other states, that is Andhra Pradesh, Himachal Pradesh, Goa, Haryana and Tamil Nadu. And these are the other states along with Telangana which have provided the tap water to all the schools and Anganwadi centers. And if you look at this, it is a mission. The states in India along with Telangana which have been part of providing the tap water connections to the schools and Anganwadi centers are part of the Jal Jeevan mission, and this is the keyword which you need to focus for the prelims as well as mains examination, the mission. So you have a mission which is a national mission, and this is a national mission which has been taken up by the union government, that is called as Jal Jeevan mission, and it is a campaign under the ministry called as Ministry of Jal Shakti. So under the Ministry of Jal Shakti, there is a mission, that is a national mission called as Jal Jeevan mission. And in regards to the Jal Jeevan mission, this has been taken up as a campaign, that is a 100-day special campaign. and under the 100-day special campaign of the Ministry of Jal Shakti under the Jal Jeevan Mission, the states in India have gone ahead with providing the connections, that is tap water connection to the schools, Anganwadi centers and ashram shalas. So what is very important for prelims perspective is under which scheme or mission the states in India have provided the tap water connection to all the schools, Anganwadi centers and ashram shala is under the Jal Jeevan Mission, which is a 100-day special program under the Ministry of Jal Shakti, and this program was launched by the Union government so that it wanted to make sure that there is a need for potable pipe water. So definitely there is a need for the potable pipe water to the children who are in the schools and the Anganwadi centers, so that these children and in the schools and the Anganwadi centers, they are more susceptible to the waterborne diseases. So to eradicate the waterborne diseases in all the districts or in all the states, wherein few states have come up, so that they can go ahead with making sure that the children do not fall prey to the waterborne diseases. That what the Union government has acknowledged the need for the potable piped water, and this is the crucial information for the prelims perspective as well as mains examination. So the keyword here is Jal Jeevan Mission, which is the national mission taken up by the Union government to provide water, that is potable piped water, so that the children in the schools and Anganwadi centers along with the ashram shalas are not prey to the waterborne diseases. And Prime Minister Narendra Modi has spoken about the path for business or easing the path for businesses, and in regards to this, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has spoken at the 6th meeting. This is again keyword for the prelims perspective, that it was the 6th meeting of the Niti Aayog Governing Council. So there was a meeting which has been taken up, and that meeting is called as the Niti Aayog Governing Council meeting, and it is the 6th meeting of the Union government. And in the meeting, the Prime Minister Narendra Modi has stressed the importance of better coordination between the center and the states, because when there is a cooperative federalism, or there is a better coordination between the center and the states, and this will lay the path for the development of the country. And this is a crucial information which you can take it into consideration, that there is a need, and the need of the hour for the country, as per the Prime Minister Narendra Modi, that there has to be a better coordination between the center and the states for the development of the country. And for the development of the country, the Prime Minister Narendra Modi is talking about, or is stressing on the various paths which would ease for the businesses. And for this meeting, that is the Niti Aayog Governing Council, there were 26 chief ministers, 3 lieutenant governors and 2 administrators who have attended the meeting, along with the various other union ministers who have been as part of the special invitees of the Niti Aayog Governing Council meeting. And in regards to this, there were few chief ministers who did not attend the meeting, that is chief ministers from Punjab, Gujarat, West Bengal and Telangana did not attend the meeting of the Niti Aayog Governing Council. Here the keyword what you need to focus for prelims as well as mains examination is Niti Aayog Governing Council meeting, and it has stressed the importance for a better coordination for the or between the center and the states, so that there would be an comprehensive development of the country. And while addressing the 6th meeting of the Niti Aayog Governing Council, the Prime Minister Narendra Modi has stressed, or he has said, that the importance of the center-state relations, cooperative federalism. These are the keywords which would again be part of your mains examination in regards to the governance or even in the general essay. That is the cooperative federalism or the need of the hour for the better coordination between the center and the states for the countries or overall countries development. And he has stressed that states should work towards reducing compliance burden for the citizens, and at the same time states should ensure ease of living and should promote ease of doing business. Here the keyword here is the state should work for reducing compliance burdens for citizens and also ensure the ease of living for the citizens and also promote ease of doing business. Not only that, Mr. Modi has also emphasized that the state should take advantage of various central schemes which the union government has come up, such as production linked incentive scheme, so that if the states can go ahead with taking the advantage of the production linked incentive scheme, so that in turn it can attract the foreign investments in the country. And Mr. Modi has also said that states had 40% of share in the national infrastructure pipeline. When the states have 40% of share in the national infrastructure pipeline, so it is imperative necessary that there has to be a synergy between the center and the state, especially in regards to the budgets and how the center and state make plans and how the center and state set priorities, because the states have 40% of share in the national infrastructure project or pipelines. And Mr. Modi has also said that the center and state should honor the enthusiasm of the private sectors in the country's development, so that the center and the states give the private sector an opportunity as per the or in regards to the Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan campaign. And in turn, both the center and the state should improve the laws, should improve the systems, and should meet the expectations of the citizens. And center and states have to emphasize that what is necessary for ease of living, so that India can be positioned globally and India can gain opportunities, and in turn ease of doing business is important. Thereby, what is important overall in a nutshell is that the states and the centers should work together for reducing the compliance burden for the citizens, so that they will ensure the ease of living and promote ease of doing businesses. And this was the crucial message which our Prime Minister Narendra Modi has emphasized on the 6th meeting of the Niti Aayog Governing Council for the development of the country, and in turn there was an key issues which was mentioned as part of the agenda of the Niti Aayog Governing Council, and the key or the 6 key issues are making India a manufacturing powerhouse and reimagining agriculture. And the third one is improving the physical infrastructure by the acceptance or allowing the private sectors. And the fourth one is accelerating human resource development. And the fifth key issue is improving service delivery at the grassroots level. And the sixth one is health and nutrition. So these are the 6 key issues on the agenda of the Niti Aayog Governing Council, which has put forward so that the country, there would be a comprehensive and overall development of the country. So this is crucial for prelims as well as mains examination in regards to how the center and state has to have a better coordination for the development of the country. And there is another news which talks about the IAEA. That means we have been talking about Iran nuclear deal and how the European countries along with UK and US have come forward and then have a various or several rounds of discussions with Iran, so that Iran would now again be part of the nuclear deal, and it would also allow the IAEA chief to inspect the nuclear sites in Iran. And we know that Iran has pulled out of the Iran nuclear deal after US or former US President Donald Trump has pulled out of the Iran nuclear deal, that is P5+1 countries, in the year 2018. And in turn, in the recent development, as Iran has accepted that it would again be part of the Iran nuclear deal, but it was certainly insisting on the United States lifting the economic sanctions on Iran. And in this, or in the entire scenario, the head of the International Atomic Energy Agency, that is Mr. Rafael Grossi, has met the head of the Iran Atomic Energy Organization, Ali Akbar Salehi. So both have met together, and in turn they had discussions in regards to the having a inspection on the nuclear warheads or nuclear sites of Iran. And in turn, after the discussion of the head of the or the chief of IAEA and the head of Iran Atomic Energy Organization, Iran has said that the discussion was a fruitful discussion, and even though it was a fruitful discussion from Iran side, Iran has already set a deadline that it wanted to restrict the agency, that is IAEA inspections, until unless United Nations lifts the painful economic sanctions which Iran is facing. So certainly Iran is now in a position, or it is sending a message to the IAEA and all the countries, or P5+1 countries or P5 countries, that we are ready to go ahead with accepting or allowing the IAEA chief to inspect the nuclear sites in Iran, but it would be only after United States lift the economic sanctions on Iran. So there is a certainly an message put forth by Iran that United States have to first lift the economic sanctions so that it would allow the IAEA chief and its team to inspect the nuclear sites in Iran. And as we know that there is an coordinated effort which has been between US President Joe Biden administration and European powers and Iran, so that it would save the 2015 nuclear deal, which has happened during the Barack Obama administration and during the US or Trump administration in the year 2018. They have pulled out or withdrawn from the Iran nuclear deal. But now again, the US President Joe Biden administration is certainly working with the Iran and other European countries, that is P5 countries, to make sure that again Iran is brought under, or they would save the 2015 Iran nuclear deal. And now we will look at Iran nuclear facilities, so that it will be very important and crucial for your preparation, that is both for prelims as well as mains examination, because there could be a possibility that part of the geography map based questions they could give you from locate on the Iran from north to south about the nuclear sites in Iran. So we will focus at the research reactors, uranium mines and military site and nuclear sites in Iran as part of now saving the 2015 nuclear Iran deal. If you look at the north, you have now the research reactors. You have 3 research reactors, that is in Bonham, Ramsar and Tehran. And if you look at the military sites, you have 1 military site, that is at Parchin. And uranium mines, you have 3 uranium mines in Iran, that is at Saghand, Yazd and then Gachin. And there are nuclear sites in Iran which will be now certainly under the watchdog of the IAEA chief, and that is, you have it, nuclear site in Arak, Fordo, Natanz and Isfahan along with Bushehr. So these are the nuclear sites in Iran. So this is very important, crucial, both for prelims, for geography map based, and also for your conceptual understanding of what is the importance of the nuclear or Iran nuclear deal, or to save the 2015 Iran nuclear deal, and how it will impact the Middle East and also the European countries if they save the Iran nuclear deal. This is as per the international relations, you can focus this. And there is another news which talks about no merger of EPF and NPS. So we will discuss about this, what the finance minister has spoken during the union budget, and now what she is talking about, that is there any plans for the merger of the employees provident fund and the national pension scheme. So finance minister Nirmala Sitharaman has said that now, as of now, there is no intent to discourage the higher income earnings from savings within the EPF. Now, the finance minister makes it very clear that she doesn't want to discourage the income earners who are saving their income through the employees provident fund. And in turn, she said that she is reviving the contribution limit of 2.5 lakh a year, which was put under tax free in the recent budget, which was announced in the recent budget, that the earners who have exceeded or who would limit or who would exceed the limit of 2.5 lakh a year would be taxed. But now she says that she is reviewing the contribution of the limit of 2.5 lakh, which was actually said that it would be imposed as a tax, but now she is reviewing it. So one point is tax free interest is being reviewed on the tax limit of contribution limit of 2.5 lakh a year in the employees provident fund, and along with that she has also reiterated that EPF will remain in its present form. That means now there is no intent or there is no plan, as per Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman, to merge both the Employees Provident Fund and the National Pension Scheme. So as of now, the EPF and NPS will be a separate entity, and there is no plan to merge the Employees Provident Fund and National Pension Scheme. So here the keywords what you need to focus from what the finance minister has spoken in the union budget, and now what she has put forth in regards to, that is reviewing the contribution limit of 2.5, which would be a tax free interest, and then no plan of merging the EPF with NPS. So these are the two keywords which you need to focus, that this is a continuation of what our finance minister has spoken about the Employees Provident Fund and National Pension Scheme post union budget. And now we'll look at the question for the day for the mains examination. And the question for the day for the mains examination for you to answer is, globally, for position of India and for India to gain opportunities, ease of doing business is important. Critically evaluate. So how ease of doing business is important for India to be globally positioned and to gain opportunities globally, is that you need to answer. So this is, you can take it into consideration, what was the emphasis made by our Prime Minister Narendra Modi in the 6th meeting of the Niti Aayog Governing Council, and then link it ease of living and ease of doing business, how it is very important that the center and states have an important role in coordination for the country's development, and thereby the country, that is India, would gain opportunities and be positioned globally, so that India would be the manufacturing hub of the world. What the key issue mentioned in the Niti Aayog Governing Council is making India a manufacturing powerhouse. So taking into consideration of the key issues and the emphasis made by our Prime Minister Narendra Modi in the Niti Aayog Governing Council, you can try to write an answer in regards to this. That is for the question, globally, for position of India, for India to gain opportunities, ease of doing business is important. Critically evaluate. And I hope this session was important as well as informative, knowledgeable, both from mains and prelims perspective. So I would say a very big thank you to all, and then goodbye and good luck. And then do maintain consistency, stick to your schedule, take care of your physical health and mental health, and do not forget to like the video, share the video, and subscribe the AKS IAS Academy English medium YouTube channel, and also have access to the website and telegram link of AKS IAS Academy. And see you again tomorrow with the daily news analysis, that is with the AKS IAS Academy. Till then, thank you, goodbye, take care.